Event. Oh, I love that for you. Congratulations.
I feel like doing it for the sake of it now.
Should we just start screaming?
Yeah.
I don't know, scream harder.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to talk about Love Island All-Stars Season 3, Episode 34, and so let's get into the video. So basically this episode is a continuation from the previous night of Sean and Lucinda basically becoming official boyfriend and girlfriend, while Whitney and Yeaman are still on their dates. So basically the conversation goes, Scott's basically giving his 2 cents about the situation and basically saying like, you know what, Sean kind of like rushed into the situation of being boyfriend and girlfriend, being official inside the villa, because for him, Scott would rather have the opinions or basically the reassurance of the family members or whoever to say they really like this person for you, before making anything official, or seeing how it works outside, logistics, whatever. So he was talking about it with Leanne about it, and basically talking about it. So Leanne's happy for them, because obviously she would also want Scott to make her a girlfriend. So Scott's basically talking to her, basically saying we're basically dating right now, and she's like, why are you asking me? Is this we need to know what you're doing. So she's basically saying, he's basically telling her the difference between closed off, exclusive, So Leanne's like, no, I don't really understand the closed off, exclusive, all this different things. And basically Scott's saying closed off is a villa term, and it is because it's basically for bombshells. That's the only that's what we use closed off for, is when a bombshell comes into the villa, you're closed off to getting to know new people. Scott is basically saying he doesn't want anybody else in or out of here. He's basically saying that to Leanne, I don't want nobody else in or out of here. Leanne, she basically saying same, or she really don't give him nothing. She don't let him know what she's really thinking, because she doesn't want to lead him. He has to lead and take charge of how he's feeling. And even though he's trying to search for a little inkling of how she's feeling, she's not going to give that to him. He has to work for it. He has to be on his toes. But basically he always says I don't want nobody else, and he's basically saying inside or outside the villa, and he's basically saying they're dating. But Leanne, she obviously wants the girlfriend title. Why are we going into exclusive? What does exclusive mean? He's saying exclusive is only going to take you to the villa, to outside the villa. Boyfriend and girlfriend is a different thing that you make outside the villa, which I do agree. If anybody remembers Love Island USA Season 7 with Ace and Shelly, he made Shelly exclusive in the villa, and then a month later, so him and Shelly became girlfriend and boyfriend. He asked her out officially. So that's what they did with Ace and Shelly. So with Scott's reasoning, which realistically you do want to see how this outside the villa life seems, because a lot of couples have done that. They wait till outside the villa to really say, oh, if they're officially together, So Leanne's just I don't really understand what's the difference between exclusive and being in a relationship. And Scott's exclusive is not a relationship. It's just not, which I do agree, because where's the label? Where's the official solidification about it? So Whitney and Yeaman on their date, basically, saying that, Yeaman's her type, basically a nice little date, they really like each other, blah, blah, blah. They're back at the villa, talking it up, everything about it. So it's just while they're having their date, Scott and Leanne are kind of not seeing eye to eye, but at the nighttime, Scott basically reveals to Leanne he basically just wants reassurance from her, he's spiraling. And he's like, Leanne's just saying, like, you don't really need to know. Like, I don't need to tell you that. You should know how much I like you. Like, you should know. Like, mind you, Leanne literally said yesterday's episode that she's obsessed with Scott. Obviously, from Scott's, vulnerability and, like, his actions, you can tell that he's obsessed with Leanne, especially. So it's like, they're not kind of, like, voicing that to each other, but it's just, like, it seems like Scott wants words of affirmation, and then Leanne wants acts of service. So, it's, two different things, but they're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. So, in this episode, after all that happened, it basically talks about the exclusivity and everything about it. They get a text basically about the votes, and it's basically they revealed that Sean and Lucinda are the top couple, the favorite couple, and it's like they're on a high because they went from boyfriend girlfriend. He even said he loved her, and now they're the favorite couple. So they're like on this big high right now. And then they revealed to us that the least favorite couple, Carrington and Helena. So they got immediately dubbed in the daytime.
Helena and Carrington.
No!
Shut up.
So there was a little thing between Maya Jama and them, and obviously this was probably like the best exit interview because Helena actually kept it real. Like, Helena definitely had a glow up with this season for sure because she kept it real. She said, like, what, she aired out Jesse. She was like, Jesse's kind of giving fake. Her tune changed after her father told her off and like said that, like, why are you getting into the Lucinda beef and stuff like that. Like, she started like hanging out with Lucinda. Carrington even said, like, the Belle situation, like, maybe after her arguing with Sean, it should have kept like that and be done. But the fact that she switched her tune to Lucinda, and it was like, all the girls basically on Lucinda, like, getting on her.
Why are you piping up? Like, what's going on here?
Well, where did that come from in the end?
I don't know. I think something went on between Lucinda and Jesse on the outside.
Okay.
And I think they were friends, and I think they weren't friends, and I think maybe it's just like she's bringing up things from the outside into the villa. Maybe seeing that, like, Lucinda's been making comments about and stuff, so then just went full force for Lucinda when she came in. Watching on to Tommy, like, I just think there's a plan that she's had, and I think it's kind of backfired when her dad came on and said those comments to her, because she did kind of go in her shell a little bit, didn't she? Like, she started being really nice the next day.
I was going to say, have you seen the vibe change in the villa since the calls?
Next morning, completely different person. Maybe she's obviously still a bit upset about the phone call, but she just started, I think, to be the real Jessie.
Like, they really aired out the whole Belle situation, and they aired out Jesse. Like, they basically said, like, yeah, it was kind of messed up. Like, he felt some type of sympathy for Lucinda, obviously getting ganged up, because definitely Belle and her posse was really ganging up on Lucinda for sure. Because it got to a point, like, it was enough now with Belle. And, like, Jessie, she's getting aired out that she probably is just with Tommy just for the sake of being with Tommy, to be in the villa. So it was a pretty decent exit interview. So back at the villa, basically Scott was then later talking to the guys, and he's basically talking to Harrison specifically, and he was just saying, like, it seems like, Sean Lucinda kind of like rushed. Like, Sean went with a lot of feeling. He basically just rushed into making, the whole girlfriend proposal and stuff like that. So he was just voicing it to Harrison, like, seems a little bit a rash decision, So Lucinda is telling Leanne, and she was like, it went from boyfriend, girlfriend, and he actually said he loved her, and then she never said loved him back. And, obviously she's deeping it. But the funny thing about Lucinda is that there is a lot of, receipts that she has some guy on the outside. So I don't know how she's going to navigate having a boyfriend who loves her, Sean, because we can tell Sean's down bad for Lucinda. But you're on national TV and people saying that you got a guy back home, you got somebody waiting for you on the outside. So it's like you really did the whole 9 yards with Sean, the whole 9 yards, and you're telling me that you got a guy back home? Like, this is crazy. Like, how are you going to navigate this? But yeah, that's what she's saying. Like, she didn't say it back to him, and she's going to probably say it back to him soon or whatever. So then tell me why later that night Harrison then airs out Scott. Basically, I'm like, why are you airing out Scott for? Oh, Scott said you kind of made a rash decision you know, making her your girlfriend, da 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 da. I'm just like, why he's stirring the pot, throwing Scott under a bus like that? You didn't even have to tell Scott anything like that. You could just been like, okay, da da da. Now, Sean, he felt some type of way about Scott's comment. Like, he was just like, I feel some type of way about Scott's comment, da 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 da. And, you know, Sean was actually making kind of sense. He's like, you know, why wait around, da 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 da. You know, basically do what you want to do in here, regardless, you know, of the timing or the air, you know, the space that you're in. So Scott, he later on is talking to Whitney and Yeaman about the situation. And he's like, you know, he needs ideas about how to, like, you know, go to Leanne and tell her, like tell him his feelings or whatever. So Leanne, she's just like, you know, saying like, you know, she doesn't want Scott to do anything that is not like meaningful. Like, don't do anything just to do it. Do it when you really mean it, or you really, you know, that's what you really want to do. So Scott was telling Whitney and Yeaman, like, give me some ideas, especially because Whitney, like, what would you like for me to do, essentially? Just, like, obviously as a friend, and obviously because she's a girl as well, like, what would, like, you know, what to do for Leanne. So he actually wanted to do a big gesture for Leanne, because obviously Leanne does, like, acts of service. Here you go. They basically talked him out of doing a big gesture for Leanne, and said, oh, just talk to her, and da-da-da, take her to the terrace. Which I'm like, it is what it is. It's definitely good for him to actually just be vulnerable and like say, what exactly are you gonna do when we get out of here? Like, what's the true tea? Like, is this for real or for fake? Like, let's go. So Leanne actually just starts coming over there because obviously that's basically like their crew. Obviously, since Scott and Whitney are friends, and Yeaman's coupled up with Whitney, you know, Scott is Leanne's man, like, she's coming over there to, you know, chat it up. So he's like, oh, come, let's go to the terrace. They go to the terrace, and he basically starts talking. He's stuttering, he's nervous, chatting it up, trying to, like, basically, you know, express his feelings to Leanne. What sends me so bad is Leanne's just like, let's just get to the point. Let's get to the point. Like, what are you trying to say? And when they get up there, he's like, they actually haven't been up there since she broke up with him. So, which is so funny because he's like, you know, we haven't been up here together since, you know, the breakup, essentially. So, like, Leanne's just like, oh, whatever. Like, you know how nonchalant Leanne gets sometimes. After all of that, you know, he's vulnerable. He's basically trying to, like, say his feelings. And she's like, get to the point. So, he basically told her that, you know, when we get out of here, we're going to meet my family. I'm going to meet your family. Da-da-da-da. We're going to go to Wales. I'm going to go to London. See how your friends are. Da-da-da-da. Like, he basically said, like, you know what? I do not want anybody else. I'm not even gonna look at anybody else. Basically, like, you're it for me. And like, he basically said, he's like telling her, like, you're not seeing nobody else. Like, he said that first, like, oh, you're not seeing nobody else. I'm not gonna see nobody else. Talk to nobody else. Da da da. Like, it's just you.
Know that when we walk out them doors, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not looking for anyone else. It's just me and you know what I mean? So that's what was in my head. But if that doesn't mean anything to you, then I'll just tell you. Just tell you, this is what we're doing when we walk out of here.
Okay.
You're not talking to anyone else. I'm not talking to anyone else. We're together. Okay?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Good.
And, you know, obviously, Leanne just basically like, girl, give him nothing. And she just basically just kissed him. And the kiss was basically confirmation enough. Like, she's like, I can work with this, I can work with that. And she's just glad that there's like some type of like solidification, communication about like, okay, what's our next step after the villa? Like, what are we going to do after we leave these villa gates? Because tomorrow is not promised, literally in the villa or in life, to be real. So she wants to know what's tea. So obviously she was so happy. She came back, told the girls like, hey, we're going to Wales. She was so happy to go to Wales, everything. You know, Millie's talking about, oh, here's, I'm gonna give you my old hiking boots, whatever. Like, she was too happy. And then we got like a little scene, like they were too happy because like he gave her a piggyback ride, like, hello. And then they got caught kissing in the makeup room. And, you know, Sammy and Kieran caught them. And
oh! Well.
Whoa!
Fancy seeing you two.
What are you guys doing?
And, like, they were just overly going tonight because, I mean, this was basically, he did his big one. Like, this is not the girlfriend proposal, but he's basically saying, like, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do that when we get out of here. And I'm just like, that's the big one. Now, I feel like he might drop the L-bomb before the finale, so you gotta wait for that. But he did his big one in this episode. This is, out of all the shows Scott has done, this is like his most vulnerable season, and it shows you that he's not playing no games. Like, he hasn't, if you're gonna compare this to season 10, he was never like this with Catherine. Unfortunately, we have to be real for ourselves. He never even got to this point of Catherine, to be honest. He was only a couple of Catherine for maybe 2 weeks before Casa, and it just went downhill from there. So realistically, he's spending almost 6 weeks with Leanne, or knowing Leanne. He has more time, and especially since they're always together 24/7. Yeah, he's down bad, very obsessed with her, definitely in the love bubble with Leanne, and he's just trying to express his feelings because they said he only has one girlfriend. Like, his sister even said this, the fact that he's saying that he's gonna take Leanne to see his family. His sister said he hasn't brought nobody home in 6 years. Okay, when he was talking to Whitney, she said, yeah, Leanne's girlfriend material. Whitney was like, wifey material. Like, yes, like, obviously, like, that's his girl. He's basically saying it, like, letting it be known, like, that is his girl. I actually really believe they can go far post show, but we will just have to see about that. Then at the end of the episode is some type of questions that came up, and we'll see how much the drama is going to continue in these next couple of episodes, because I'm like, what are these questions that these Islanders are asking? Because half of the questions are about Scott and Leanne, and I'm just like, why are we still thinking about Scott and Leanne? You should be focusing on your relationship and see what the public thinks. Why are we saying, oh, if Scott's a game player, is him choosing Leanne over Belle? Like, hello? Like, why are we asking these questions? Like, let's be so for real. But this was episode 34. It was actually a pretty decent episode, even though it was like kind of giving like nothing really happened besides Helena and Carrington got dumped. But Leanne and Scott basically are solidified as a couple, not really a couple without the actual title right now. But we're gonna get there. But anyway, guys, it was episode 34 of Love Island All-Star Season 3. And if you guys like this video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns. You guys subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.